their manifesto, and then after they finish, they click the record button.
Or like take the lens cap off.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we definitely have it.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now,
The patient's manifesto will not be televised.
All
now
can
do
think
I
of
have
is-
sound?
is,
Yes, I should have sound too. There we
is,
go.
In True Lies, when the guy with the camera's batteries dies.
Yes. And he's sweating the whole time because he's like, keep that camera on me. And he's like, but.
All right.
Batteries.
So we'll come back to you last, so you don't have to immediately repeat
Bless
yourself. Let's go over to our fancy tabaxi. Introduce yourself.
That's me. Hi, I'm Sleepy.
Hi, Sleepy. I'm Dad.
Hi, Dad. I'm trans. My name is Celine. I play Star, who is basically every Skyrim character I make, no matter what they start out as. My sneaky archer cat person who has big bard energy despite not actually being a bard, and has recently been getting into artificery, I'm going to call it, because that sounds like a fun way to say it.
Artificery, indeed. And then let's go up to an actual bard, a proper bard, business bard, if you will, a professional. Introduce yourself, Sam.
I'm Sam, Sam the Scald, and I play Remy. That's a really shortened version of his name. He is a swashbuckler, which is mixed between a rogue and a bard. And he is captain of the airship right now. And he spent like 1,000 years in a tower. He's a sad boy.
Sad boy. Let's go from sad to tricksy, sad to mischievous, sad to not malevolent, but like, you know, they'll fuck around. Introduce yourself, Brandon.
Hey everyone, I'm Brendan, and tonight I'll be playing the part of your resident tricky child, Sir Chevy.
I like the idea of Chevy as a child. The oldest man.
The oldest wrinkly child.
The oldest wrinkly.
This is our little baby boy. We like peel back the carriage cover.
Button disease.
Oh no!
It's the movie Jack all over again. Anyway,
That's it. Those are the two aging backwards.
I'm sorry,
references.
I'm not nearly as good as a performer as Robin Williams. He's just so entertaining. Miss that man.
rest in peace, Robin Williams. Well, you're all Hadozi now in this campaign. I've decided it. Only the most. You have a choice. You can be Hadozi, Drow, or extremely problematic orcs. Those are your choices. There you go. You can also be goblins, but only Harry Potter style goblins.
Best campaign Reddit could ever ask.
Right. Nonetheless, the one who is currently putting their daughter to bed is his name Josh Cloffinpop is what I will call him. Also known as Cloffinpop, plays Trapper Bramblepelt, who is a furball druid that looks more like a coyote man, and is slowly becoming a divine entity. And also, a good percentage of their body is now comprised of various fungal and low-growth plant materials. They're a little bit of a mess, but you know they can brew a fine potion. They can
sexy mess.
They're a little bit of a hot, sexy mess. And he will be back shortly. But we will jump right in. Last time on Through the Mill, which happened over on Steam, and now we don't do Steam anymore because
Switch.
Switch. It's Twitch.
Twitch.
You guys are
Whatever.
on Steam. You steaming on the Twitch?
That's Steam.
The last episode of Through the Mill was streamed on Twitch. I have stopped using Twitch, mostly so that I can openly talk about how much Jeff Bezos definitely likes to fight dogs. He loves dogfighting. He's a monster.
Forgot about that bit.
Yeah.
At least I got him mauled by those dogs.
You did. I put him there for you to get him punished for that kind of behavior. But fantasy.
I'm really hoping that comes back later when we see him like a post-mauled.
A post-ruined Bezos. Him and Elon Musk love dogfighting. Anyway, last time on Through the Mail, our group on their ship, which is an airship that has been retrofitted to drill into the Earth, to drill into the Great Divide Mountain Pass, and get into Naden Platts, where they will find rare materials, but more importantly, a rare method of Black's unique weapons, specifically targeted at killing a pantheon of gods. They began drilling into the mountain by a large mountainous creature.
We've almost got him.
Did I drop out again?
Rip.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Mommy, come back.
I can get you.
Oh, God damn it. That sucks. You can hear us and we can't hear you.
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
We hear parts.
Stream is struggling.
Oh, now we have you?
Okay, you should have me back.
We got you back.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a moment. But nonetheless, the worm began to chase your beautiful wildcard ship all the way down into the depths of the Naden Platte, a Great Divide Mountain Range, sending a bunch of little nasty boys. But through the actions of you and your crew, you were able to overcome this struggle and find yourselves mostly unscathed, if not mentally taxed by it, managing to dodge and basically run out of the way of this absolutely endless, massive under-earth worm. And we return to the safe, for now, environs of the wild card inside of a ship, burrowing itself into the earth, deep under the surface now. And we are going to return to the next day. So what I will need you all to do, and we're going to kind of hand wave over the after events of that evening, but what I need you to, or of the previous day, what I need you all to do is A, tell me if your character decided to sleep, and B, roll 2d6 for me.
If I was able to get any sleep, I would have tried. But it depends on if somebody could take over for me.
Yeah, you have crew that takes over for you. That crew's name is something I need to scroll up in the chat for.
What a weird name.
Is it? Is it the guy who's my buddy?
Yeah, the one who just needs to be like on something to calm his nerves, and then he's functioning. Tedited. There they are.
Yeah.
Patience sleeps.
Patience sleeps. I mean, I think Patience was relatively prepared that this would be the modus operandi of the situation.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're all probably sleeping in rotation. So,
but yeah, you do have your full crew of both Cat and other. Those who knock. That's
the two genders.
The two new genders, Cat and other.
Two new genders just dropped, y'all. I think Cat's been a gender for a while.
Yeah.
So with those 2d6, so it's our sanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does the number the day before matter?
No, that is completely wiped away. And so just have your number, have your 2d6 number. That is your total sanity points. Well, you kind of rotate through this, but so it's choice. So Chevy slept, Patience slept, Star slept, yes, and Remy slept.
Yep.
So for everybody that slept, please give me an intelligence saving throw.
No, sleeping was a trap.
How could I have not foreseen this?
I rolled crap at my d6s, but I rolled a 19 for a total of 22 on my intel save.
That's good.
Uh-oh.
It's a good
I
thing.
didn't roll my d6s. Was it 2 of them?
Yeah, 2d6,
Yeah.
and that's your points for the day, if you will.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've got
14.
9. Not bad. But my my saving throw is 26 high enough.
Yes, 26 is high enough. 22 is high enough.
I hope so.
14.
I got 16 for me.
And
14 for Sam.
All right. Patience, it's like they're reaching just behind you, the kind of encroaching thoughts of being back in this place. But perhaps it's your year or so of experience with it, or, your multiple deaths. But you just manage to, when you wake up, you know that your dreams might have been disturbing, but you can't remember any of them particularly, and you did not frighten yourself awake at night. Remy, with a 14. Remy, in the middle of the night, while you're dozing and drifting to sleep, it took you certainly some time to rest. You did extremely well piloting the wild card through rock, and that should give you confidence, but instead it gives you further trepidation because you begin to realize that though you've found your freedom away from the tower, you are once again back to being trapped in, admittedly, several rooms that are linear so that you can navigate them, but in one space with no ease of escape early on. And so I believe that Remy, over the night, is experiencing flashes of the endless cycle of tower rooms and getting back to the cabin and then journeying out and the eventual defeat of the escape. Lose 1 sanity point. For that. As you find yourselves back together in the kind of main morning, Remy, you find tethered steadily at the wheel, calm, still as a mountain pond lake with 0% wind factor.
Good man.
Of course, Oof is back in the engine room, covering for while Star had slept. Grimathy is, of course, patrolling, as Grimathy is known to do, making sure that there are no broken pieces or entrances or creases that have developed over the rumbling shutter. It's like traveling on a bus, really. While you're doing it, you can kind of hear the outside constantly as you bore through the earth. Meatball, give me a perception check, Patience.
I was gonna say, I was like, is Meatball just like there when I wake up? I guess we'll find out. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to roll with actual dice this time. So.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh my god. Okay, so I rolled a 5 minus 1. That's a 4 for my perception of Meatball.
Meatball is not in your room when you wake up.
Are we sure? I'm not.
But Patience is.
That's good. But I'm in the room.
But yeah. And so, yeah, the crew's just moving about the ship, working, when they see some of you awake and ready to, in theory, eventually take station. They're, of course, going to sleep as well. But the turn or the crux here is, I think, what is your morning routine first morning waking up into inside of this mountain? What's the AM routine? There is no AM and PM down here, basically, because there's no light other than the unnatural lights that are inside the wild card. Yeah, what are you all doing? What's your breakfast? What's that feel like?
Well, what do we have? Like, I'm assuming before we left, we didn't really talk in detail about it, but we did purchase supplies.
Oh yeah, you guys are fully stocked for this trip.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna need some coffee.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the first thing we do. I think Chevy's the first thing he does is he kind of, he wakes up, he casts his light cantrip, and he kind of walks around the ship checking on everyone, making sure, one, that everyone is accounted for, and that's so like there's no missing crew members, and that everyone is like in good health and reasonably okay spirits.
Give me an investigation check, Chevy.
Okay, and I'm going to cast guidance on myself then, because investigation is not my strong suit. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. Dirty 20.
All right, now, with a dirty 20, I'm going to let you roll this with advantage, because it is random. Chevy, give me 2d20. A 2d20, and give me the higher of the two numbers.
So you want me to roll a total of 4d20 is what you're saying?
No, just 2d20
Okay.
total.
Okay.
Give me the higher of the two numbers.
19.
All right, everyone's there.
Without any modifiers.
There are no modifiers. Everyone is there.
Cool.
You're able to check in on everyone. A couple people are sleeping, as appropriately so. But everyone is on the ship, accounted for, and in, surprisingly professional health. Neither of these groups were lying about them being prepared for an extremely dangerous mission. Because these are not adventurers, nor are these common folk. These are mercenaries who literally take jobs knowing that death could meet them at any time. And even though the little the cat folk are super adorable, and those who knock are kind of eccentric, they all definitely seem to have fallen into their professional roles. What about you, Star? What is Star up to first morning? What's Star's immediate thoughts?
Well, the literal reason why I wanted to make sure to have my sleeping quarters appended to the engine room is so that the first thing I could do when I roll out of bed is basically just full, sort of, I guess, inventory on the sort of working orders of everything and reading of instruments and all that such. So just going through the engineering checklist, basically.
Give me investigation check.
And let's see, that is what is mine? 14s. 32.
32. Everything is in working order. Oof has done an excellent job, as you expected them to do, because they carry out every task that you ask them to perfect and pristine completion. And they silently nod at you and continue to go about the instructions until you give them new instructions. But yeah, the engine's working fine. The nothing seems overtaxed or overpowered. All meters are within standard deviation of normal, or within expected ranges. Engine's humming. What about Patience? What's Patience morning routine?
I think Patience probably gets up fairly early, makes herself a cup of tea and like some toast, and kind of goes back to her room, and then is continuing to work on this kind of it's basically like a journal in case anything happens to her, which at this point is like, first it was literally like you need to know information about Maiden Platts, but it's also kind of turning into like just a little bit more about like what they have experienced on their journey, what she knows about the pantheon, and just continuing to kind of document that, as well as going through any of her books about like anything that she thinks might be relevant. So she's like reviewing like books on like cave formations and like how to determine if a surface is safe to walk across. Like, she's I think she's been away from books and knowledge for so long, as she was like stuck in Maiden Platts, that it's kind of a return to her normal morning routine that she would have done long, long ago, as a place of comfort of like, if I know everything, nothing can surprise me.
Yeah.
And also I think she does a fair amount of, she does some like working out, which she's picked up from being bugbear patients.
A little bit of cardio or a little bit of aerobic in the morning, along with some education.
Yeah, she's trying to stay active and stretchy. Yeah. I'm like the beast. I'm basically the beast.
Give me
beast.
Give me another perception check while you're in your room doing calisthenics.
Because Meatball's in the fucking vents. I rolled a 2, so that's it's a perception, right?
Yep.
That's a 1.
It's a 1.
Hey, just get down from there. The cat's watching me from the vent, and you're causing trouble.
No, he's not. You're perfectly safe with no Meatball anywhere.
No, Meatball, please.
Oh, Meatball. Remy, you said that you'd gotten coffee in the morning. Do you head up to the bridge, or head forward, I should say, to the bridge, or do you hang out and spend some time with the crew, like doing the I'm in charge here management walk, if you will?
Kind of. I think he'd be slow to get back to it and sort of, savor the coffee, mill around, check everybody's okay, like just sort of take his time getting back to the helm and just sort of basically procrastinate a little bit.
A little bit
socializing.
A little bit of procrastination, a little bit of socializing. Give me a charisma saving throw, but it's not to save against anything. It's to give a general charismatic influence.
Oh no, not charisma. 16.
16. All right, you chat with people. Whereas Chevy, you notice Chevy kind of doing the same thing, sort of checking in on the crew, making a judgment call. Yours is more of a, okay, you're clearly the captain at the helm sort of position. So whereas Chevy, is able to, have little conversations here and there and make sure that everything's all right for everyone else. Yours is more of, I think, the crew being pleased, at least gently so, that the person that's one of the people in charge of them, and the person that in theory holds the highest rank, as far as they can understand, on the ship, as far as they're used to, is like personable and willing to chit-chat and just sort of be a human being. And so that obviously encourages this, and this is something else that you noticed, Chevy, while you're judging, is that Remy's sort of natural kind of affability and sort of casual demeanor is a good thing for the overall mental health of the crew. Trapper, since you're back.
Not to mention their general affability.
Trapper,
Thank you.
I need 3 things from you. The first thing I need is to confirm if, after the events of last session with the big worm chasing you and everything like that, did Trapper decide to go to sleep that night, or did Trapper kind of stay up all night or struggle with sleeping?
Remind me what events you're talking about. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. So last session there was like a big worm thing monster that was chasing you, that was like filling anyone who could sense its kind of endless, like ravenous sort of beastly hunger. It had a bunch of little like minions that were crawling off of its maw to try and get at you, and you all got away fairly unscathed. You managed to outrun it and kind of outdodge it, and so it moved right on past you. But it was the first immediate conflict of the ship and everything, and it was definitely like a relatively tense moment, but with Remy stepping on the gas, you were able to get out of there pretty smoothly. I think for Trapper, the most disturbing part about it is that it's this overwhelming, like feeding, hungry, angry, like driven, kind of ragish sort of emotional wave that was hitting you while you were kind of sensing one big, massive living creature around so very little else that was like alive and breathing and such. And so that is why I asked: does Trapper sleep, or does Trapper eventually get to sleep, or do you choose for Trapper to stay up all night?
I'm gonna roll for it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna roll Arcana or Nature.
Whatever you choose to roll.
I'm gonna roll Nature. 4 Nature plus 6, 10.
10.
In the middle of the road. Maybe I had a bad night's sleep.
All right, that's perfect. So the first thing I'm gonna
11, 5 and a 6. Hell yeah.
And then can you give me an intelligence saving throw? But since you said it was a fitful sleep, do it with disadvantage.
Okay. Oh, that was a 7. It looked like a nat 1. And a 13. 7 plus 6, 13 is my low roll.
All right, take one of those points off. You do indeed have mostly, I would say, flashback nightmares to what just happened, to the sensation, because, like, I think most animals, would you say, that Trapper would encounter, even if they're pretty aggressive, predatory animals, are still whole, complete sections of thought, right? Like, it's how nature works, right? Nothing is one thing, and this was very much one thing as a creature.
Yeah, it was like a loop of one emotion.
Yeah, and everything. So that definitely wears you down a little bit on your morning. And then the last thing I ask is, after that sleep that morning, we've had routines of getting tea and doing some research. Chevy and Remy have been kind of walking around the ship, checking in on people. The crew all seems hale and healthy and fully at function. All of your little cat folk and strange eccentrics that are on your hired crew and everything. What's Trapper's rhythm this morning? Because now that you're waking up to your first morning, it could be afternoon, it could be evening. There's no real way of easily knowing. What's Trapper's kind of wake up routine on this day?
I mean, how roomy is this ship?
Like, it's pretty roomy.
Is it as big as it was before it was underground?
Yeah. It didn't shrink.
Okay. I mean, is it loud?
It rumbles almost like you're riding a bus. And so it's noisy, but I wouldn't say that it would be particularly loud. It wouldn't be like painful to be in, but much like, because you're drilling through rock, it sounds kind of like you're just rolling down the street, feeling the rumble and the vibration a bit more.
I think Trapper probably finds the place on the ship he's found where it's like an anti-node of the resonance.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like the least vibration right there. He gets there and grows some nice thick mossy filling to fill out the area and just has a little bit of quiet time.
Tries to get a moment of peace.
Moment of peace, moment to spark it up, moment, just sort of center himself.
To breathe.
Think about the day. Maybe roll through his mental Rolodex of spells.
There you go. Maybe are emotionally and arcanically prepare himself.
And then slicing up some kind of root or tuber for some breakfast.
All of you kind of going about your morning routine and everything. Can you please? Yeah, let's do it. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Concerning.
Ooh, 7.
My cat's losing his shit.
I can hear. Which one is it?
28.
Simba. Piss. I rolled a 3, but -2, so it's 1.
Wow.
I'm very into my books.
Yep.
Dexterous as fuck.
Couldn't be me.
I'm dexterous as fuck, boy.
Couldn't be you.
Oh, I'm sorry. With Dex, it's a 4. I thought it was strength. It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay.
Yeah. So much
Okay.
better, I know.
So Star, what did you get again? Remy?
26.
26. Chevy, what did you get? You might have been.
I got an 8.
All right. So Remy and Star, you both suddenly feel this, and through Remy, through your history of being on ships, and knowing that occasionally just being trained, and even though it's been literally an eon since you've been on one, it's just built into your bones. And Star, with your just natural, and then trained on top of natural reflexes, you're both able to catch your hand on something, and anxiety, right? You're just able to catch your hands on things to steady you as the ship comes to a absolute full stop. Like it just was progressing and is now instantly not progressing. For Trapper and Chevy, you both like absolutely fully tumble from whatever you're seated on or standing, slamming against a sidewall and then into the ground. Or into the ground. I'm not going to make you take damage because the damage would be minimal anyway. But
Fortunately, I'm fully packed in moss.
yeah, so Trapper a little bit softer. Chevy, Grimithy was showing you some sweet butterfly knife tricks.
And I'll just say that I was like about to enjoy a nice beer, just splattered it all.
Just
over my face.
splattered it all. You. Grimithy was going to show you some nice knife tricks. Fortunately, the butterfly knife falls free of doing anyone any harm. But
can I try and catch it with my telekinesis hand?
yeah, give me a wisdom. That's a wisdomy thing. So give me a like a wisdom saving throw. Sure, yeah, wisdom saving throw to see if you can catch.
23.
So yeah, you spot knife, and then make sure knife does not knife.
I'm like, oh shit! While beard is still dripping from my face, my beer is still just going all over me.
Patience.
My fetish. Yes.
Patience.
Just did it for you. Just for
Thank you.
You,
My nasty secret.
you are busy in your
We're not
books,
here to yuck
and
anyone's yums.
honestly, you're sitting in a chair at this point. Like you tumble over, but that's not like the worst thing that could happen. But what's harder for you is the secondary thing that happens when from above you, falling down upon you, is a very plush, very up to this point obscured to your awareness, Meatball, who has been in the vents above your room watching you.
Patience fucking shrieks. Like
Meatball does that.
I was waiting to try to call back the my fetish, but it's not a good one to pull on.
Meatball jumps back, does that little like arched hooked back thing, is on all fours. Like, what?
do they do the little thing where they go like this and then kind of like sideways?
Yeah, they kind of sideways. They don't offer any explanation. They just keep making eye contact with you while sidewaysing out of your room.
Get, go on.
And,
Not on the bookshelf. Just left with like a pile of books on the ground. Like,
yeah,
fuck!
So many books everywhere. Remy and Star, since you're the ones who weren't immediately impacted by this, what's your first instinct action to do here?
I would assume, as it mechanically makes the most sense, that there would be a like a shut off for the drill portion, whatever motor's driving the drill. I would absolutely make sure that is turned off immediately before it burns out the motor.
Don't even need to do, because you saved, you don't even need to do a roll for it. You just quickly shut it off, as in that like quarter second, half second of time, you hear the screeching of the drill and then it winds down relatively quickly to a halt. To a halt. What about you, Remy?
My first instinct is to run towards the front of the ship and see what the hell we ran into.
Let's start the
So
bridge.
it's probably good you turned the drill off because I probably would have got, stuff, debris all on my face.
Sam, give me another dexterity save and
Okay.
add a +3 to it. Not your save stat, but a +3 to whatever you roll.
Okay. 14.
14. All right, relatively okay-ish. You see Tedid kind of picking himself up off the ground and standing back at the helm as you enter the bridge. You immediately notice that there is no drilling or progress. You heard, the whole ship heard, the drill wind down when Star halted the drill. You see the kind of the darkness of the front of the bridge because you are in fact in pitch blackness. Darkness around the front of the bridge. Tedid and one of the other crew members is up there kind of shaking themselves off. There's no like cracked windows or like damage inside the bridge that you can see. It just seems that you have fully halted. Do you give any commands? Do you do anything in reaction to this?
Am I able to see what we run into? Like, what's in front of us?
Yeah, you can turn on the you can turn on like the forward arcane lights.
Yes, please.
So you turn on the forward arcane lights. Now with recovery, Star, Patience, Chevy, where's your instinct? Where do you go on the ship?
Oh, I mean, I'm running to the front to see if
To
there's
the deck,
damage or
yeah.
anything.
Star, you shut off the engine, or you shut off the drill. Do you do anything else back in the engine room?
Was I getting the right impression that even though we had suddenly stopped, that the drill was not or was still spinning?
No, you shut the drill off successfully. It was still spinning. You heard it grinding against something.
Yeah, no, it was still turning before I shut it off.
Yes.
Okay. Well then, I guess everything else that would be relevant and relevant to that would only be relevant at the bridge. So I would probably go up to the bridge.
What about you, Trapper? Do you, now that you've been tussled around, do you go up to the bridge or do you go somewhere else on the ship?
I think when it first happens, is Trapper's trying to figure out what's going on and is extra wary because of the recent encounter. So I think instantly Trapper like reaches a hand out through the moss to try to touch the closest like metal wall.
Yeah.
And really just like listen.
See if you can sense any life.
Vibrations. Yeah.
Vibrations, that kind of thing. Give me
Any
a
sensations.
give me either a nature or survival check, whatever's higher for you.
Okay. Survival or nature, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do survival.
We had a long rest, right?
3
Yeah.
plus 10.
So 13. You don't sense anything other than the wildlife that you've surrounded yourself with and the life that exists inside the wild card. It is back to feeling the pure absence around you. Like there might be, remnants of like bacterial or like microbial level life, but that usually hums beneath your notice. And certainly with a 13. But yeah, you don't sense anything immediately outside the ship, or you do know that you've stopped moving though.
Do I sense like mycelium in the soil at all?
If you do, it's the faintest you've ever like it's so faint and distant, or faint and minuscule that you yourself are like, well, that's not a high present network.
Got it. Oh, I do want to mention, I think the only other thing I have for this, good shroom. During my quiet time, I've grown 10 mushrooms on my back, like on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And they are each worth, they last for 24 hours and are worth 1 hit point each. They're basically good berry.
Yeah, they're good berry,
shroom.
but mushroom form. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So after you don't sense anything, do you make any moves anywhere, or do you?
I'm gonna go see where everyone's at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably end up heading to the bridge.
Heading to the bridge. So as you all kind of collect up to the bridge, Trapper the last and everything, you find Remy and Tedit and crew staring in front of you at lit up with the sort of like giant front arcane lights, the headlights, if you will. A giant, flat, perfect gray, like dark gray slate, smooth, unnaturally so. Smooth, unnaturally so. Of that, and yeah, it you can see kind of the front tip of the drill, which is like a little blunted, but due to Star's quick reaction, hasn't looked like it's received any significant damage. And everything. It's not like bent all out of whack or anything like that. And you can even see the mark where the front of the drill like ground against the ship. And there's scrapings, but there doesn't look to be any significant like divots or pulled away pieces. And that is what you all come to see on the scene as all 5 of you collect there.
So we just hit a giant, solid wall.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take a. Well, I don't know what other people are doing, but I'm going to, as a ritual, cast detect magic to see if I can see if this thing is magical in nature.
So that'll take a little bit of time. Since it's a ritual, right? 10 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to use a spell slot.
It's burn a spell slot. Detect magic. How do you feel that Chevy would take the fact that there's no magical presence of this?
It's actually more upsetting. Because that means someone put it here, rather than just like magicked it here.
Is it like a natural formation, like just a gigantic chunk of rock?
What you can see is it looks unnatural. It is too smooth to be natural. There's not running water here or oceans to wear rock to smooth polish. And it is a perfectly flat plane. Does it look manufactured?
It sounds like it does.
Like something that was created by someone's like hand.
I would say it does look crafted. It looks like it's dozens. The section you can see is like a few dozen feet wide and a few dozen feet tall. Like, and then you can kind of see the rock that you were drilling for kind of coming off around in almost a halo that matches sort of your drill breaking up the rock and the sort of cone it would create. But it's obvious when looking at the edges. You can see sort of the seaming of the rock meets this and does not connect with it. It stops at it, and just as you did. And this looks like you've exposed essentially a wall. Yeah, a flat wall
of a structure.
You don't know. It's as far as you know, it's a wall.
So you wouldn't consider this either a ruin or a dungeon?
I could consider it a ruin. I could consider it's old enough to be a ruin.
Then I can correctly ascertain its original purpose and determine its builders, whether those were dwarves, elves, humans, yuan-ti, or some other unknown race. In addition, I can determine the monetary value of any art object more than a century old.
Damn it, high-level characters.
Archaeologist's background been sitting in the wings for ages.
I've been waiting for this.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you. But let's see how kind the game mommy is going to be.
It might not be helpful, all things considered.
Yeah,
but
let's see how kind the game mommy is going to be. Give me a history roll with advantage and the guidance from Chevy. You're getting this information flat, but let's see how much that you can
So
draw out of it.
history with guidance, you said?
Yeah, and advantage.
An advantage. Okay.
Your wheelhouse.
So I get a +8. So the first one is 19. The second one is not 19. Okay, so 19, and then I get to roll a D4?
Correct.
Okay. 19 plus 2, that's 21.
Patience.
She like gets up to the window and is like looking real close.
Real close. You don't see any
And then like
identifying.
backs up and looks far away.
You don't see any identifying markings, which means it wasn't dwarves or like anything like this. Plus, you're way deep now.
Right.
This would be the only thing you get with a 21. Is or the things that you can get with a 21 is that this is definitely metal. It is definitely a type of metal. It's not the god killing like onyx metal that you all have and are looking to make use of. It's definitely metal. It's definitely a type of metal that only gets used in structures this deep. And I'm going to say that you recognize that it is not from a given individual peoples, but it is from one of the prevailing empires that you did your best to avoid much contact with down here. It is of you haven't seen this up close because all structures which are gargantuan that you've seen made of this are from a community of people that is a dominant force in a section of Nadenplatz that absolutely you were told by some friendly outsiders, or at least non-hostile outsiders, that if they found you, they would quote-unquote make use of you or get rid of you. And those were the only two purposes any person ever had in this empire.
Shit. What was the name of the group?
Of the empire?
Is it just called the Empire?
So it's casually called the Empire. I'm going to say because you rolled a 21, I'll say that luckily someone said its name. The Empire is just simply known as the Underneath. And the Underneath Empire likes to claim that it is the first peoples of the underground empires. There are multiple countries and factions in the Nadenplatz, but the Underneath Empire, or the first, if you will, are the people that you would go. So it's been called the Underneath Empire, the Under Empire, the First Empire, the First, any of those names.
Shit. Crap, fuck, shit. All right. So maybe it's empty, but so this building looks like it, based off of its design, is created by the Empire, First Empire, the Underground Empire. I know like one thing about these folks, which is you avoid them like hell because they either will use you or destroy you. So I would love to leave. I would love for us to leave.
What?
Am I familiar with this group of people at all, at least by reputation?
You are familiar by reputation, and everything Patience is saying is correct. Your history here, Chevy, would be absolutely, we just stay out of this group's way. Your community isn't like near them. And so it's like, we just leave that problem in its area, and we are over here in our area, and we don't have to interact, and so we don't interact.
Yeah. I just know that we steer clear of these guys. I agree with Patience on this one. Yeah.
Are you saying that a building stopped this airship completely cold? That's what just happened?
It's probably like a fortress. Uh,
I'd say.
Seems like
Damn.
we should probably go a different direction now.
Well, I mean, we'd have to go around anyway. There's no way we're getting through here. So,
yeah,
does
let's do
anyone
that.
have
Uh,
a heading?
So is this
Left, right, up, down?
Probably down.
down? I
Uh,
think makes sense. But is this something that's connected to that dwarf guy whose necklace I have?
No.
The,
You would know that it's not, or patients would know that it's not.
no. Okay, so maybe Trapper, can you get any sense of like maybe with some sort of, I don't know, earth magic, like how big this thing is, so we can figure out if we need to go up or down?
Josh is currently not at the table.
Oh shit! Sorry.
I have an option.
Okay.
I can cast augury as a ritual, and I can describe a choice of. I can describe. So we're casting this. You describe like a course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes, and the DM has to choose wheel for good results, woe for bad results, and wheel and woe for both good and bad, or nothing if there's nothing particularly good or bad ahead of us.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna crowdsource this one. So because of the way augury is done is it's kind of like it's commonly described as like rolling bones or doing like a tarot reading. What do y'all think Chevy would do? I'm trying to think here. I'm having a little bit of a brain block here. What would Chevy's own personal augury be?
rolling dice.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Just rolling just regular dice.
Yeah.
Rolling dice are
Like
like, I mean,
Craps.
Like Yahtzee.
I
Yeah.
actually think he would actually play you guys in a game, and
Oh.
depending on how well he did at that game,
It would imply to him.
it would imply to him
quick game of
that
blackjack.
a quick game of blackjack, and if he wins the game, that's a good result. If he busts, that's a bad result. If he just loses, that's like wheel and woe. And
If he pushes, it's nothing. If he ends up even, if you will,
yeah,
because it is a ritual, so it does take a handful of minutes, right?
yeah, it's technically it's 11 minutes to cast this as a ritual.
Yeah.
So that's how we would do this. So I'm like, okay, guys, I know this is weird, but we're gonna play a little game. Okay, gonna deal out some cards, and we're gonna figure out what to do. So this is all to figure out if we should go down.
Yeah. Okay. So, a few minutes into you casting this ritual, I'm gonna have everyone roll I'm gonna have everyone roll insight.
Okay.
Mm,
It's a nat 20 with a total of 31.
Oh,
Jesus
fuck.
Christ.
Let's see.
17.
So 17 plus 7. So 24.
11.
So, all above 10. Couple really solid rolls in the nat 20. So, Chevy, you're dealing out the cards, and you're playing a couple hands, right? And you know that the judgment comes toward the end of the 10, 11 minutes. So it really doesn't matter what happens in the first several hands. You're doing this, and perhaps in a moment of brief clarity, you recognize that patients refer to this as a building or a structure. And while you're dealing these hands, being like, okay, if we go down, you're trying to focus on down to kind of keep the spell in it, but your mind can't help but wander a little bit. And for the first time ever, Chevy, Well, your shuffling cards give you a sense of immediate danger. A few minutes into this ritual, you botch the shuffle, and the cards spill all out. You have never, since well before you had your sense of calling, actually fumbled cards in your fingers without deliberate choice.
I see it like happening in slow motion as the cards
kind of scatter out and everything like that.
Chevy like looks up from the cards and he's looking at all of you. He's like, "Oh shit."
What's that?
You just ran a large metal drill into what you assume is either a wall or a structure that is also some sort of metallic alloy thing, otherwise known as you just probably made enough noise that somebody might have noticed. Yeah, so
let's move. Get the fuck out of here. Get the engines. We're backing up. We're going somewhere else.
It doesn't matter.
Go somewhere, anywhere but here.
We're going to port then. Let's just go that way.
All right, so you all start running. Star starts running back toward the engine room.
I'm actually gonna immediately kind of like cast an illusion around the front end of the ship using silent image.
Mm-hmm.
So that like after to kind of if there's like an opening that opens in the wall in some way, that if they peer through, they're just gonna see rock.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just set an alarm at whatever like the entrance is to get into the ship to make sure that nothing goes in through the main entrance and sneaks in on us.
So you set that. Patience with Chevy being like, we need to go, and the idea of being backing up. Do you do anything, or do you maintain yourself on the bridge?
Backing up. No, I need to be up here so I can have clear sight in case I need to cast.
You start backing up, and then I'm gonna say that Star and we're gonna go with Trapper, even if they're not here. No rolls necessary. Star and Trapper, who are not necessarily focused on the front of the ship, hear a sudden, almost muffled at first, like booming sound, and then you begin to hear the more of a like a roaring, almost cascading, avalanchean sort of wave of stone crumble from behind you. In the area.
Do we all hear that?
Yeah, I would say that you and Trapper hear it first, Chevy, and since Josh isn't at the desk, this would be yours to react to, Chevy. Or not you. Sorry, not you and Trapper, Chevy. Star and Trapper first hear it because they're just not as they're maybe toward the back of the ship, whatever. But yeah, you hear that rumbling sound. You clearly hear it in the coming from the back. I think that's the key, is that Star and Trapper are the ones that know that it's coming from behind you, rumbling and everything outside of the ship. Star, what's your ploy upon like getting this immediate info?
Do we still have those like sending stones?
Yeah. I mean, you can communicate.
We can communicate. Then yeah, that would be my first thing. I would assume we'd already be in communication, so that I know when to turn the drill back on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So yeah, I would be basically yelling. There's something very disconcerting sounding on our whatever the word for rear is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I end up immediately heading back that direction.
So you head back to that direction, and you go to the observation section, the upper floor of the wild card, to be able to see back, turning on the arcane lights there, to see it. And eventually you do see that the back area, which is an area you drilled out, it should be a tunnel, is now a massive pile of rock.
Fuck.
Too close for you to just simply easily just like rotate the ship around very simply, or get it around. If the drill was there, you could drill through it, but the drill is facing the wall, and so just going backwards ain't gonna do it.
Hold up.
Did you just Suez Canal us?
Yeah, I suppose I did just Suez Canal you.
Ugh.
Here,
We need Trapper in his Earth movie stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Movie
checking
as
it out.
well.
Okay. Let me think.
I don't think he can move enough.
Not at the scale you
Just
need.
enough for us to turn to a heading that we can start drilling again.
You only get 40 feet.
Give me
Could be enough to rotate.
I have Thunder Wave, which does it means unsecured objects are pushed 10 feet away. It's probably not enough.
Not in the way that they would just be pushed into other big giant heavy objects. The force would
I
be
can
hard
just
to-
fully plane shift us. That's fine. No, I can't. I can't move the whole ship.
Give me a insight roll, Remy. As you hear
Okay.
that back is not an option.
Okay. I rolled a 2. 5.
If back's not an option and forward is not an option, the options you have to yourself are down, up, left, and right. But you are super snug in here. You could back the ship up to as far as you could before it just butts up against collapsed rock. And then try and steer the ship hard down, hard right, hard up, or hard left. Or any appropriate clock wheel trajectory on that. But it's gonna be a tight squeeze, and you are absolutely going to be, if this wall goes in any distance, in any direction, you're just gonna be dragging the ship across it until you can get yourself fully aligned right. Sort of just like being stuck, having to essentially pull out of an extremely tight space, knowing that you're probably gonna scrape your door.
Action is more important
Down?
than decisions.
Down.
You need to just move.
Yeah.
Go
Just
down.
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 Okay.
We gotta go down anyway. Down. She said down, and then we get dropped by hands.
I mean, his spell was to see if we should go down, and he dropped the fucking cards. So maybe down is bad.
Oh, fine. Then right.
Okay.
Right. All right.
I mean, to be honest,
No,
I
never
didn't get a
go to the
decision on
right.
the outcome of
Go
my
left.
spell. I kind of had that realization
late.
in the middle of it.
Too late.
Really bad realization.
Going right. What are you rolling for a piloting check, Remy?
I would like to. Don't suppose you'd let me use performance again.
I don't think I'm going to let you use performance this time. Give me another one.
Damn.
I've been real kind with performance, but give me another one.
Acrobatics, because this is gonna be me trying to
All right. I'll let you do
run
acrobatics.
around
Well,
and balance and
Be sliding.
just be like going wild over here.
I'm gonna cast Cat's Grace on you.
Away. What does that do?
Target has advantage on all dexterity checks.
Gives you
Oh, that's
advantage.
Nice.
Ah, okay, let's see how that works.
I have to stay near you and concentrate on it, though.
That's fine.
Okay, stay near me.
I'll cover you, Chevy.
Oh, good. I rolled a 3 and a 4. 19.
19's still really good.
Christ.
Oh, dear.
At the time appropriate that it needs it, Star, of course, turns the drill back on so that you can dig down while scraping. It is a horrendous sound. I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, interesting.
Nat 20 again.
Damn.
Doing good, Chevy.
I'm getting them rolls tonight.
15.
19.
Oh yeah, reliable talent doesn't work for saving throws. I got a 10.
Oof.
Okay. For those of you that got below an 18 DC, take one more off of your mental fortitude chart as this moment of tension is there. Everyone that got an 18 or above, you're fine. You're dealing with this stress. Okay. But the sound is monstrous. Metal scraping against metal at this scale is painful to the ears. As
Or has sensitive hearing.
Remy just drags this ship down across it. You can hear the drill grinding against the wall a little bit, and then eventually coming off of it. Then the side of the wild card, kind of the left side of the wild card as you turn right, just sort of drags along it and angles. Give me a perception check, Star.
That was another. Jeez, the lowest roll I had before these was a freaking 17. I kept getting 17s and 18s, and now I just got another low one. It's a 4, but this is so that is 22 is my lowest perception.
You can hear it happen when it happens. The wild card has been compromised on its side. There is going to be a tearing. There is going to be an opening. You're not near it right now, but it is going to be a problem because you are essentially taking on earth and stone right now as you desperately pull out of this. Patience. The headlights are still on. And so you and Chevy and Remy are able to see forward, but Remy is working on guiding the ship, right? It has to be there. Chevy's trying
Remy's
to keep
guiding the ship. Chevy's focusing on helping them guide the ship. And I am the eyes.
Patience. As you kind of scrape along the wall, because you can now kind of see it off to the left side of the kind of bridge and everything. You're moving, you're going, 10 feet, 20 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet. And this wall isn't ending. 200 feet, 250 feet, 350 feet. Still.
Are we not able to steer away from it?
And then, well, no, you're now, this is now as Remy steers away from the ship and everything like that, the rock is just kind of crumbling alongside the wall, and it is becoming out of sight. But hundreds of feet of wall before the wall comes out of your view. Before the wall comes out of your view, as you kind of move right alongside it. You
sick fuck.
She nasty. That was close. 20 unnatural.
So based off of the size of this wall. And based off your archaeological knowledge and you seeing things as a distance, this is not
a gate.
Yeah, it's a barrier for several structures.
Right. If this is a fortress, this is the outside of it.
Yeah, these are the outer walls of a city, if you will, fully walled up. And you recall that one of the ways that you would see these things from a distance is that as you would travel by foot. Through areas of the Naden Plats, there would be giant hollowed out caverns, naturally and unnaturally, that you would see around these and would allow you to be hundreds, if not thousands of feet away in these giant caverns, exposed to beasts and all manner of dangerous things, but not near the full threat of Naden Plats civilization. And you are now traveling along an earthen side of it, which means that at the very least, one side of this is going to be exposed, and you are traveling along it, not beneath it or above it.
Which means that we could run into a door.
You could run into not just a door, you could run into a giant, wide opening in this drilling thing. So that's the information you get.
Up. Let's go up instead. Let's go over this fucking thing. We might run into a door if we keep going along the side. It's like a maze, right? Like this is an outer wall of a fortress. And if you stick to one wall, you're gonna find the inside.
I don't need the details. Just up is fine.
I'm pontificating.
Stop.
I got a lot of emotions in me.
That's great. Tell
Give me that.
Chevy.
Give me that. Give me that. That acrobatics with advantage again.
Please, more than 4.
Gonna need a shirt that says I'm pontificating.
This time I rolled a 9, or I'm sorry, no, that's a 6. A 6 and a 7. Jesus Christ.
Better than a 4 and a 5.
Okay, math. I got a 22.
So you are able to steer the ship up without causing any damage. Star, perceiving that the ship is now taking on Earth, but also and being available to address this problem. What do you go to address it? Do you go back to the engine room to make sure the engines are good? Like, what do you do?
That's what I've been figuring out. I'm trying to find out if Trapper even still has the like move Earth stuff prepared right now.
I don't know if he does. How are you thinking of implementing it? I'm fine hand waving that Trapper can do some stuff.
Basically, basically I'm just trying to put someone on there that has the capability of pushing the Earth back out.
All right.
So unless like either talk the Trapper into it, and then probably send Oof with the proper crap to. Honestly, no, I wouldn't send Oof. I would go myself because I have a bag full of large pieces of scrap metal.
So that you can repair it while trying to get Trapper to push it out.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to bring up Trapper's character sheet, and I'm going to roll some arcane stuff for them to suss that out. Give me just a moment.
I'm
Pretty
curious.
sus.
Another thing is that could possibly be done is if Trapper can shapeshift into an Earth elemental, could he move stuff as an Earth elemental?
Yeah, he absolutely can.
Cool. So they do not appear to have like move Earth or anything like that. Just erupting Earth, but
I would allow that to be utilized in a move Earth kind of way.
perfect.
That feels fair.
I absolutely blast with a fireball. Is this?
That's just a 3rd level. Block that.
Okay, I'm going to roll with advantage for Trapper since it's Earth. And whatever makes sense. That is a 24. So Trapper runs back with you, or over with you, to where this stone and earth and dirt is beginning to kind of flood in, fixing and mending and shoring up so that you're not taking on as much. Wait, it's a mess here. This is the crew's. This is some of your crew quarters. And they are absolutely destroyed. Like, they are obliterated in a way that, an avalanche would obliterate the wooden insides and of a ship.
So I just reread my my enhance ability, and I do not have to maintain distance for it to remain in effect.
Okay, so you can move around the ship.
So I'm probably gonna head down there and start. If I hear that happening, if I know there's a commotion down there, I'm going to go down there and start helping with casting mending.
All right, so that will help here. I need, what would you say, sleight of hand? Sleight of hand for skilled repairs in a tense situation?
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Do it with advantage, because mending is being cast.
For me or for...
For Star, you're just casting mending. You're basically giving Star the help action. Well, Star sort of points out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So 16 and sleight of hand. I think I get a plus. Yeah. So that's 31.
31.
Rapidly pulling out large sheets of metal from my bag of holding and placing them strategically so that they could be affixed.
And then Chevy's just blowtorching them with mending. Amazing. And so you are working on that. Remy, can you give me an insight check, please, as you're successfully steering the ship up and
Okay. 13. I'm gonna go burn my dice, you guys.
That's fair.
Time for a new pair.
You successfully steer the ship up in the way that you're not causing any extra damage. Chevy, Trapper, and Star are mending it. Patience is over-explaining but helping direct you in
best.
what to
I'm
do.
also starting to direct crew to start gathering the dirt that's built up in the hole and dumping it off the back of the ship.
Yeah. Putting it out where you would dump
Just
waste.
like we would do with buckets and water if it was water.
Exactly. Just starting doing that. The crew's doing that. You feel like you're comfortable. Give me a perception check with disadvantage, Remy.
Perception.
Disadvantage. This is tough.
I don't like you right now. Ooh, my dice decided to be nice to me. 22.
Hell yeah.
All right. So the insight check was for understanding that if it's a cavern and you don't know where the cavern portion actually is, because obviously they're not all buried in rubble, so there must be some sort of doming. You don't know where it is, to have that realization and be more cautious about this climb. But the perception check is for feeling the difference of the earth and stone that you're drilling through as it's happening, and it is starting to get a little. You notice the velocity of the wild card is moving a little faster with the drill, which means that the earth and stone is getting a little bit more loose, a little bit less compact, and pressurized. What do you do with that?
Assuming that I know that breaking through into this cavern is a very bad idea.
Yep.
I
We
would
are on an airship, so we wouldn't plummet.
You would not.
no, but the people in the cavern are really bad dudes, right?
Yeah, I don't want to.
We don't want to encounter them. So I'm gonna try to steer in very slight degrees in different directions until it stops feeling like that.
So it stops feeling like that. Okay.
Yes.
You begin kind of steering around, stopping, trying to avoid this. I need every member of the crew to give me a charisma saving throw.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Woo! That 20.
Like,
I rolled a 4.
But
my
charisma is a bard's thing. What the hell?
I got a 14.
14.
you got more than I did.
Charisma's also my thing, to be fair.
Same.
Yeah,
Well, it's not my thing, but
I
it's
got an 8.
one of my hires.
I got a 28.
Okay. Star, Chevy,
I
you're
wish I
fine.
could give you like 10 of mine.
I'm busy, okay?
Star,
Trying to
Chevy,
pilot a ship, that's a lot of work.
you're
Hope
fine. And you're
I would-
focused, right? You're focused
I
on
would be
making
really
sure.
worried if a nat 20 wasn't high enough to.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, of course.
might be bad.
Yeah, so you're passing just fine. You're all focused, right? You're down there with Trapper, making sure shit doesn't get out of hand, and you're doing a great job at it. Patience and Remy, you're on the ship. Patience, you notice that Remy started kind of like judging and like kind of weaving a little bit to avoid that, and it clicks with you in that moment. Both of you independently hear Trapper call out, "Hey, we need more help down there. Patience. Can you come down? We're not able to weld it fast enough."
Yeah, Patience goes running that direction.
So a while back, I had Brandon say the statement of some of the rules of survival of under the ground and post them up around. And one of those things was that in the dark, if you hear a voice that is familiar to you, call from you from out of sight. Patience,
Good.
you go down, and what you see is not what's happening. Chevy, Trapper and Star, you're down there. You're handling it. There's like a bucket brigade. Patience, what you see is Chevy, Star, and Trapper, on no one else, on the ground, kind of overwhelmed with the dirt and the danger and everything like that. What you see is that happening, and you see there's a bunch of sheets of metal that are kind of propped around the thing, but not in it, or not like welded to it, to prevent more of this earth and rock and dirt from coming in and everything. What do you do in that case, Patience?
So that what I'm seeing is that like they're being overwhelmed by like the dirt.
Yeah, they're kind of pushed back from the entrance, and there's kind of a big old pile of dirt, like kind of flowing in, oozing in almost, of like stone and rock and earth, kind of oozing in, and you can see where Star had put up some of these plates, disturbed by this and everything. But this is what you see.
So
what would Patience do here?
Patience is like, oh God, and I think she starts to cast a spell, which is creation. It's a 5th level spell, which lets me pull shadow material from Shadowfell to create like a non-living object. It's a like a how big is it? I gotta make a 5-foot cube is how much of an object I can make. It takes me a minute to cast. It's got verbal, somatic, and material components. It requires a piece of matter of the same type that I'm trying to create. So I'm going to try to take like a piece of like you said there's wall that's like not like there.
It's not like sealed.
Yeah. So she's taking trying to touch a piece of that and start like casting to block this over. It takes a minute to cast.
Okay. With that taking a minute to cast, Chevy and Star, give me either Arcana or Insight, but give it to me with disadvantage.
Ouch. Definitely. I mean, to be fair, my Arcana is at the lowest. But, yeah, and I rolled a 10 anyway, so yeah, 24.
19.
With the not quite with the 19, but with the 24, Star, you would catch that Patience is standing there and beginning to cast a spell as you and Chevy are working to weld this thing. And Patience is eyes focused on where you're currently working. And everything. Do you do anything with that?
Do I at least notice she's in the room with us?
Yeah, you notice she's in the room.
I'll go. Great Patience, we could really use your help. Start picking up dirt.
All you hear, Patience, is, "We need your help, Patience."
Yeah,
which is consistent with your vision.
I'm working. I'll seal it. I'll creation. I'll seal it with something more than metal.
Patience, have you ever cast creation in front of them?
I've never cast creation. This is a new spell.
Yep.
For them to see me doing. It's a 5th level spell.
I'm gonna say that since it's definitely not in the purview of the Trickster Pantheon, because it's pulling materials from Shadowfell, and it's not a super common spell. I don't know if it would be reasonable that Star and Chevy would know what that spell is.
I don't think so either. No.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know how, like, what I would know to do to react there, and I am already like, I assumed putting my all into getting material.
It is an illusion spell. It is a wizard and sorcerer spell. So yeah, it would not be like.
It's not really.
It's illusion magic though. That's like my fucking forte.
Well, yeah, but it's not actually an illusion. It's an actual physical construct. It's just D&D is bad at naming spells. I'm glad they're moving to the three schools and then class specific stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially, like what this is going to do, it's only a minute, so I've cast it at this point.
Well, it's taking some time. I will come back to you, Remy. You heard that, and you saw why Patience went off, and that makes perfect sense. Remy, you hear the you hear the voice of Chevy now off from behind you, yelling, like shouting. And you hear the voice of Chevy simply say, "No, we need to. Okay, let's stop moving up. We need to move. We need to level out. We need to straighten out. We don't want to. We want to get around this. We don't want to go all the way back up the mountain."
Okay. Understood.
Do you just take?
Do that.
By the way, I want to remind everyone that part of what we did is we established a password.
You did do that. Roll a history check, both of you, both Remy and Patience, because I forgot about the password part.
We every day we establish a password in the morning as part of like a pre-established regular routine.
I'm not going to punish you for not remembering that from 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's a 17 for me.
Okay.
10.
Okay, Remy definitely does not remember the password.
Shit, that's the more important one.
Under the effects of a charm spell. Patience, while you're in midst casting this spell, you begin to recall that it tickles at the back of your mind. You've started the spell, but you haven't finished it yet. And you begin to recall, Chevy or Trapper might have forgot to use the password. It makes no sense that, Remy, you don't even think about it because Chevy would be more likely to just use it. And it's just something you sort of forget about. But, because this is the first day. But Trapper might have forgotten to say the password. That's probably the impetus of the thought.
For me?
Yeah. Or would Trapper even use the password inside of the wild card?
Yeah, because that's the thing is I think Patience wouldn't immediately, even though she's been down here for a while, I don't think she would clock that, in her brain, it's this is so different from being alone in the darkness that, she's felt safer, all things considered.
All right.
You've never traveled with people, so you never had to deal with this particular phenomena before.
Nope.
Yeah, she's always been alone. So any voice was very easy to ignore.
So why would she ignore Trapper? All right. So, as Remy levels out the ship, as the three Star, Chevy, and Trapper are working on closing the door, Patience's spell goes off. I need Star and Chevy. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
That's another nat 20.
Jesus.
Woo!
I got a nat 1.
I know where my dice went.
A nat 1.
I rolled a nat 1.
It's nat 20's ultimate success. Nat 1
in a very long time.
Nat 1's failure. Trapper also only rolled a 9, which was an 11 total.
Can I use my telekinesis since I rolled a nat 20 to push Star out of the way to give some help on that?
I will say, because your reaction is just you getting out of the way at the last moment, I think it's a little bit of a push.
It is a little bit of a push. But no, I have luck still.
You do have luck. Yeah,
everyone
if you want
has luck because if I've been casting.
Okay, I'll burn one for
Burn a luck.
Too. I'll burn a luck.
Establish that was another thing that I previously do.
Doesn't matter for Trapper, but it does matter for Star. So
makes sense to use my luck for that too, because if I literally was just looking and watching Patience, why wouldn't I react?
Patience.
So, yeah.
So this is a 5 foot by 5 foot cube, yes?
It doesn't necessarily have to be a 5 by 5 cube. That's large as it can be. So I think she would be trying to recreate the wall of.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say that you're just trying to basically slam a piece up against the wall to shell it out. You got a nat 20, Chevy?
Yeah.
So, Chevy, you take no damage with your nat 20. You just dodge out of the way.
Oh no, I smooshed my friends.
Chevy.
I smooshed one friend.
Trapper, or Star, you are going to take half damage. This isn't like a normal deck save for a rogue. This
YouTube is down.
Yep,
bud?
66. YouTube should be back up.
Okay. I'll roll 66. That's insane.
That's actually a pretty a good chunk of damage.
About 60 foot of velocity force knocking into a thing.
So
26.
each one is about 3.5 damage. So that's 14 is average.
How much damage did you do?
26.
26 damage. Excellent. 66.
21 damage is average on that one. So you were a little high.
Yeah, nice.
Yes, of course.
So
Good.
Trapper takes it all. I would say that I will round noticeably down. I'd say Star probably only takes like what would it be? 13, like 8-ish damage on it. So almost a full quartered down from it, and then Chevy takes none of it, as when you a flutter or a moment of realization, and you now see where people actually were. There's considerably less dirt and detritus in here. You can see crew members ferrying it off. You see that Chevy and Star have backed away, but they're not on the ground. They're standing, and you see that Trapper has their arm pinned behind your apparated wall.
Fuck.
Apparated wall, and they're like, Jesus, oh god damn it, oh,
do I
patience,
have a
you got me.
As to what just happened?
Yeah, Chevy and Star. I don't know if you know, like, exactly why this happened. You just see Patience slam this, and it does help. It slams against what has already been there, and there is now no more rock whatsoever between the welds and this coming in. It's just Trapper's arm is pinned behind Patience's thing. You have enough materials that if Patience had not done this, you would have sealed it up. It just would have taken longer, and now Patience has addressed that. But yeah, now all of you can visually see this, but I don't think any of you would know
what
that.
What the hell, Patience?
It wasn't. I didn't see. It didn't look like this. I'm sorry. I heard a voice.
Oh damn!
Shit.
Nuts.
So I'm gonna.
What the hell are you doing down here?
I heard a voice. I heard a call. I wasn't thinking about inside the shit.
We gotta remember the password. Oh,
I know.
It's okay.
What do you do, Star?
I'm gonna just grab Trapper and teleport us a couple feet away.
And you teleport him away, and he goes, "Oh, that's my pickleball arm. God damn it."
I go the little opening where his arm.
Yeah,
left
exactly.
The hole in there.
And with Patience's dark wall and the remaining sheets, you're able to patch up what Patience's spell is holding.
That's only gonna last 12 hours.
What I'm saying is that
I'm telling them they need to cover over it because mine only lasts 12 hours.
Yeah. And so, there's the availability to do that. Just as you all get that settled, so when a plane hits a pocket of different pressure in the air, and it just suddenly, it's not turbulence so much as it is a sudden drop. You all feel that as Remy, your thoughts clear version of what's in front of you as the wild card begins to drop suddenly and then immediately react to that drop by spreading out its little side wings, and eventually after say 70 to 100 feet, the sort of automated sky stabilizers sort of kick in. And so none of you were hurt or drop down to the ground. It's not that feeling, but all of your stomachs lift up into you like a roller coaster and settle you down because everyone on the ship feels this. And there was a moment of almost panic, but it happened so fast. And Remy, you are now flying in air. The drill is still going, right? You are now flying in air, and beneath you, you can see a strange cavern filled with all different kinds of bioluminescent and magma-like light, as rivers of volcanic flowing magma just sort of peek out of little threads and veins, as you see for thousands of feet in every direction, a huge underground cavern that you have now exposed. Give me a perception check, please, Remy.
Yeah. Remy mad. 14.
14. It takes you a little bit to notice it, because they're not like on you or directly in front of you, but off to the sides of the bridge viewing window, you can see in the distance small ornithopter-like helicopter-like mechanical flying ships that are pacing you and flying around in this cavern as well, and they are like man-operated ships, and you almost certain that you've been spotted. What do you do?
I mean, it'd be hard not to at this point. First, I'm going to yell at the very top of my lungs, which is a lot, with the password. Long lungs. With the password. What the fuck, Chevy?
Chevy, you hear this?
I leveled out per his instructions,
and yeah,
or what I thought were his instructions. And I'm really pissed off.
Chevy, you hear Remy in the distance say, "What the fuck, Chevy?" with the password, so you know it's real Remy.
Oh shit! If I heard something without and came running, Remy might have heard the same thing.
Longer needed to weld anything.
Yeah, I'm heading back up to Remy, and I'll be like, "What did I do?" I just like immediately get up there and I walk in the room and I say that. What did I do? Remember our rules? You don't recognize the voice you hear from out of sight.
Well, fuck.
Patient Star, what do you do in this moment? You're no longer needed to man this situation. The hall is mended enough as is, and the crew is doing the dumping of the dirt and the rock out the back, which is now trickling, by the way, out the back into this giant underground massive cavernscape.
Now, by the way, when I get up there, I'm assuming I see the flying of aircraft approaching us. I'm like, I call out with the password, "Everyone man the guns."
I am the gun.
I'd go straight to Oof, and we would do exactly that.
All right, so guns are beginning to get manned. Patience is getting to an area where Patience can see out of the ship. These things are still hundreds of feet away from you. They're not even necessarily closing so much as they're pacing you. At this moment, Remy, Chevy just reminded you of the password, which you yourself just used, and there's a moment of that thing, but you got to move on. You're in it now. Now you have some choices. You can try and tilt the ship up in sky to drill upward or into the cavern. You can try and rush the ship forward to get to where the cavern begins to crest back down and drill yourself back in it, or you can kind of prepare yourself for evasive maneuvers with these little like tailing helicopter-y devices. Gyrocopters. There you go. It's the steampunkier, fancier way of saying it. Very nice. Thank you. So Remy, you're at the helm. So are you speeding up? Are you doing a much more risky maneuver, which is just trying to tilt up and drill up, or are you essentially bracing for potential combat?
Can I speed up and sort of not like hairpin turn, but like do a pretty quick turn to the side to try to go back into the wall?
To try and go back from whence you came?
Essentially, but like I don't want to do like a complete U-turn, but like just sort of bank right and try to go back into the wall.
If you bank right, based off of the curvature, you see that other than doing a full loop around U-turn to try and go back from the way you came, you're in an unpleasant situation where every avenue to kind of easily angle yourself back into the earth is several hundred feet away, because a ship's yaw, and that the ship can in fact tilt, but you're already at the top of the route. You don't have a lot of maneuvering room up above you. So you'd have to either dip and swing up or turn right and then just like wait until you get to a advantageous section where like the doming of it kind of curves down to give you a better angle. Because the moment that you start drilling, you have to make a choice on when to pull in your wings and do this, because this drill wasn't really meant at the idea of evasive sky to earth. It was meant to be able to just like drill downward and use gravity to its advantage. That's not what you're in at the moment. So I would say that would be similar to you just racing for an option, versus just trying to tilt yourself upward.
Yeah. Then full speed ahead it is.
All right, full speed ahead. All of you are manned at the guns. Right now, everything is a little too far away from you. Who do I want to have roll this? Let's say, who's been rolling really well today? Sam. Give me a D20 roll.
Sure.
Love it.
Remember, you have luck. So if you need to re-roll something, you have 3.
There's no modifier.
15.
All right, 15. Those of you that can see out of the gun reports now, as well as patients, you can all see that from not these gyrocopters, but from beneath you or behind you in some direction, large arcing, smoldering boulders of just like hot white heat are lobbing in the direction of the wild card. But with Remy full on the gas, they are arcing before they can actually hit. They're coming back down before they can actually hit. You actually see one land on the ground sort of deep into the earth in front of you and absolutely explode, catching fire to whatever fauna is down there. Now let's go with, as you're full steaming ahead, Patience, give me a D20 roll.
No, good. Good. 16.
Patience, you probably sense it the moment that it starts happening. You sense this creeping beginning of a spell being cast on you and probably other people. What do you do with that knowledge? It's
a spell?
Yeah.
Just a spell.
Yeah, you don't know its nature, not with a 16. You don't know its nature, but you do. You sense that, rephrase. You sense that its nature is to similar of a charm spell.
Oh, I'm gonna counterspell it on a 6th level.
You're gonna burn a 6th level spell slot to counterspell it?
No, I'm going to burn my last 5th level.
5th level
I think
spell.
you have to be able to technically see.
So technically, you have to be able to see the caster. I will give you this.
Fuck.
I will give you this. I will allow you to counterspell it because I'm playing a little loose with the magic rules anyway to add to the danger, and so I want you to have that same lewdness. You can counterspell it. I will allow you to counterspell it. And what is your charisma is your spellcasting modifier, right?
The way counterspell.
No,
yes.
Yeah, I know how counterspell normally works, but because you can't see the caster, this is more about will of magic versus will of that. So I will allow you to counterspell it. You're going to roll a d20. You're going to add your charisma bonus, right?
All right, which is plus 10.
And whatever level of counterspell that you're casting it at, you're going to add that many as well. So if it's a 5th level, you'd add another 5 on top of it. I'm going to tell you that the DC check for this, for you to stop it, is above a 19, but I'm not going to tell you.
I have a plus 15.
Yeah, so
I feel
you can also
pretty
use
good.
luck too.
Yeah, and you can use luck too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you the exact number.
I have to. How do I use luck?
You don't have to declare it. You use it afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. let's roll them dice then. I rolled a 10 plus 15. That's a 25.
Do you
Because
feel
plus-
like a 25 is enough to counter the spell? Counter the spell?
I think so. Yes.
You would be correct. A 25 is exactly enough to counter this. That is dead on the DC. This is a very hard spell. And what we're really doing is you're using your will of magic to prevent someone else's will of magic. To charm and
My
distract
will of
the
magic
shit.
is strong.
So that's that one. Chevy, give me a D20 roll, please.
Fucking hell.
Welcome to
14.
14. All right. I'm going to ask you this. Do you feel like a 14 is high enough for a good result?
Is this just like a random, like there's no skill involved in this whatsoever, right?
It's not a skill check. I will comfortably tell you, it's not a table. This is essentially a luck check.
Yep.
Do you feel like a 14 is good enough?
If I re-roll, I have to take whatever I get, don't I?
Yes, you do.
So statistically, I'm not likely to roll better than that. I'm more likely to roll under it than I don't roll over it. So I'm going to keep it.
So Remy is doing a great job at outpacing, getting too close to any of these gyrocopters. Remy is doing an amazing job here, but they still have threat. They're still in sight, right? They're out of the range of your guns, but they are still attempting to tag you down, especially as they're beginning to understand the trajectory that Remy's doing to try and just get out of the situation. And they start launching large, basically whaling harpoons to try and tag you down. Harpoons that would be big enough to take down one of those giant worms that you encountered earlier and begin to do that. All of these harpoons are launching into them. One of them does hit the ship, but does not penetrate the hull and knocks off, as a 14 is enough to avoid a bad event from this. Celine.
Yep.
Give me the last D20 roll before Remy is able to get into the mountain.
And that would be a 17.
Well, that's a good one.
Good.
All of you are running and pacing for this. You're unaware of when exactly Remy's going to hit rock surface and get yourself obscured and out of the way of this. Remy, you are lining it up. You've got it perfect. You're prepared to transition from air flight to drill. The drill is spinning. It's ready to go. You're going to make it into the mountain. Celine, you hit, or Celine, you rolled that 17 in the absolute last moments just before you all successfully drill into this mountain from a cave kind of off to your like to the ship's like rough 3 o'clock, not even 2 o'clock. From the ship's like rough 2 o'clock, a cave on that side of the mountain, several flying like worms with riders on them start coming out, flying kind of like gliding drake worms sort of come out. They're more serpentine than they are Euro dragon. And they have riders coming out, and Remy and anyone that can see toward the front of the ship, you see that they don't only have martial weapons. Some of them literally have like glowing energy expelling from their hands in bolt form, ready to launch an attack at the wild card as they disappear, because the blackness of the earth that you drill into is all encompassing again, as all of you feel the wild card move back into drilling into ground. I need everyone to roll and one last insight roll for me.
I have a question too.
Go for it, Star.
Would I be able to like at the angle we're drilling in, if I were to like I guess fire the guns and have anyone else on cannons to fire like behind us to try to cause like a sort of cave in behind us and close off this.
Don't bother rolling an insight check. That was the tip I was going for. Yes, you absolutely can and should do that.
That would be my immediate reaction, and I also would have had the 19.
Yeah.
I rolled it too.
Sam, these
Shit.
dice are so unkind to you today.
The Skitaki dice are with you tonight.
Right.
Greg
No.
Taki
Thanks,
is
Greg.
here. Greg is here in spirit.
A haunted
Thanks,
spot.
buddy.
As Oof and Star fire the guns, causing a collapse. An easy thing. You just fire them up toward the top of the tunnel, causing a collapse, catching several of these serpentine worm riders just in the rubble and preventing them from pursuing you. As the wild card moves through, I would like everybody to roll a final charisma saving throw. Actually, this is a wisdom saving throw, not a charisma saving. I apologize.
Bastard.
Oh, I failed that one. That's a 7.
30.
This die has been min-maxing the hell out of me today.
That's the best kind of die. I either want
The swing-
incredible failures or incredible successes.
Yep.
The
Not
swing
every roll, but,
between
like 90% of them.
The
Sorry.
swing between.
oh no worries. The swing between a wisdom save and a charisma save for me is a +10 versus a -1. So I rolled a 10, so -1. So I got a 9 for my wisdom save.
9.
Damn you, game mommy.
What did you get, Sam?
What am I rolling? Sorry.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom.
Oh no.
Star, what was your total?
Oh, 7.
And then 30
May
something.
have rolled another 2.
Shout out to the 2 crew.
Am I
My
the only
wisdom
one who
is
passed?
+1.
You are the
so
only one who
3.
passed. So
Well, you
Chevy,
passed it
you
the
see this.
most.
You see this. The rest of you don't. If you direct yourself to the stream, eventually this should pop up. There is an image dead center in the square.
Oh God.
Yeah. You all see this as an apparated image. Star got a 7. Patience, what did you get?
A 9.
A 9. Remy, you got after your 2. What did you get?
3.
All of you lose 2 mental fortitude, 2 of your sanity points. Chevy, you're fine. As this image comes, and it's like, invaders may escape sometime, but we will find you. No one offends us and gets away with it. And that's where we're going to end our session for this.
I'm peeing and crying. I'm crying and peeing.
For this session of Through the Mill. Good job, guys. You escaped my wall puzzle. You escaped
One session to
my
defeat
first
a
empire.
wall.
We're back in it. We're back in it, and we love it. We love this terrible place that is nothing.
It's
Also,
been too long.
it's like 10 in the morning. Happy times. But nonetheless, thank you so much. For those that want to follow, some people still stream on Twitch under their various names. Damn Celine. Is there anything between Damn Celine?
Yeah, I've been. I just started my Meows Morales playthrough of Stray.
Very nice, very nice. Love a good cat game. Sam, if you want to stream on tits, if Sam, I assume you're still sometimes streaming, maybe?
Yes, I am.
What times do y'all normally stream?
Usually Saturdays in the afternoon.
Saturdays in the afternoon. What about you, Celine?
Thursdays, 7 Mountain Time, so that's like I think
6 Pacific, 9 East Coast. Feel free to. So it's Damn Celine and Sam the Scald. And does Sam the Scald have underscores in it?
It does, yes.
So Sam _ Scald on Twitch.
That's me.
Damn Celine, all one word, on Twitch for Celine. Patience. What? Well, Brandon or Camille. Well, Brandon goes and finds a movie to show us all. Get off that love sack, Brandon.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm not on the love sack. I'm on the couch.
I got big news. The nonprofit I work with and one of our for-profit partners, which is our own Outdoor Afro Inc., we just launched a collection with REI. And so that's in REI stores across the country. And part of the the funds raised through it not only go to supporting like the Black creators who created this awesome new hiking gear and the like Black artists who also worked on it, as well as those proceeds. Part of it goes to Outdoor Afro, the nonprofit I work for. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Before Brandon comes back, I am going to recommend the Kickstarter campaign, Desi Quest. So you go to Kickstarter and you type in Desi, DESI, space Quest to find it, or actually no space. Or you can just type in Desi Quest Kickstarter on Google. Desi Quest is an all South Asian actual play that is being headed up by some excellent actual play and just internet producers. Sandeep, who people might know from the Guild, and writing on glitch text and doing voice acting on glitch text. Jasmine Bular, who has done tons of actual play DMing for things like DnDBeyond and Dimension 20 and such. As well as Rekha Shankar, who's from the Dropout / College Humor stuff, also played on Dimension 20, and Anjali Bhimani, who has appeared in Miss Marvel, is a voice actress who does things like Apex Legends and Overwatch and stuff like that, and has also appeared on Critical Role. Those are the announced people. They're looking to do a high production value 5 to 10 episode run. They've already been funded for the 5 episodes, so it's already going to happen, but you can donate to get even more episodes out of them. And we don't see a lot of South Asian lore in actual plays and D&D, and certainly not an all South Asian cast. But yeah, it'll be GM'd by Jasmine Bular, and Sandeep Parikh will be playing in it, as well as directing it, I think. And so go over there, just Kickstarter Desi Quest. I've already donated. And to take us out, Brandon, what should people be watching? What's your movie recommendation? I'll make you all big.
So I'm going to be recommending a really great piece of surrealist film. This is a movie called Holy Motors.
Okay.
It's from Leo Carax, and it's a French film that I don't really know how well to describe it. If you enjoy good surrealist film, like things that kind of just like break the rules and do weird things, you'll enjoy this movie. It's about a man who is being driven around town in a limousine as a part of his job, and in his limousine is a wardrobe of costumes, and at every stop he puts on a new costume and plays out a scene in someone else's life that he is being a part of, as if it was like a stage performance without anyone to witness. And it's really fascinating. I think it's kind of a commentary on what it means to be a performer in film or in theater, in which you spend more time living your life as other people than you do yourself.
Very cool, very cool. How does it compare to Miami Connection?
Clearly it's garbage compared to Miami Connection. Miami Connection is one of the best films ever made.
I mean, yeah, but That's too high of a bar. You're right. But fantastic. Thank you. We will be back this time next week here on the Dying of Exposure YouTube. And we will also be back next week for the Booty Pea Saga. But for now, I've been your game mommy. Thanks for hanging out and watching this video. If you're watching it after it aired, which is most likely the majority of you, feel free to come and hang out with us and you know, like, try and fuck with the roleplay. Nonetheless, y'all have a good night. Thank you very much. Bye.